Hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Leadership Mind School special teaching for this week. This session promises to be very, very exciting, promises to be a very interesting one. Now, I'm sure you must have heard a word or two on emotional intelligence. Today, I have the privilege to present to you on behalf of the Leadership Mind School a very interesting topic that has been titled Emotional Intelligence. I welcome all our viewers from across the world to this very interesting session of the Leadership Mind School. If you are there with me now, just quickly indicate, let me know you are here. So today, we are continuing our leadership development series, and we are focusing on a subject that is often overlooked, but absolutely critical for effective leadership. This subject is often overlooked, but is absolutely important in effective leadership, which is called emotional intelligence in leadership. Many people assume that leadership is primarily about knowledge. They assume that it's about strategy or technical competence. Yes, while all those are very important, technical competence, strategy, style, patterns, very important. But time has proven that leaders that lack intelligence, more often they struggle. Leaders that lack emotional discipline, they struggle when it matters most in leadership. So leadership places you under constant pressure. Yes, because leadership will always place you under constant pressure. It will always bring high expectations. Leadership will attract criticism. Leadership will lead to misunderstanding. Leadership will drag you to the point of taking difficult and necessary decisions, and sometimes even lead to personal attacks. Now, listen, in some moments, your ability to manage your emotions becomes just as important as your ability to take decisions. Please, if you are with me, if you are on, can you kindly just drop in the comment section? Let me know where you are watching from. We are so glad having you tonight, this beautiful evening from here. So let's proceed. So emotional intelligence is not just about to suppress one's emotions. No, it is not to pretend about it that challenges do not exist. Rather, it is about developing the capacity to understand your emotional responses. It is to develop the capacity to regulate your emotions effectively, and to be able to respond to people and situations with wisdom and maturity. Thank you very much, Bukola. Thank you. Think you are the first person in the chat. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you are the first. Remind me, I said you are the first, and I will mention you. Uh, by the close of the session. You are the first person in the comment section. Oh, thank you. Queen Ivy, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you very, very much. So let's proceed. So a leader who cannot manage his or her emotions may unintentionally damage relationships, will create tensions within teams. A leader who cannot manage in their emotions effectively, intentionally, will end up damaging relationships that ought to uplift them higher. They create tension within their teams and their organizations, and they weaken the trust that is required for sustainable influence. In our previous teaching last week, where we discussed about consistency without applause, we talked about character, we talked about credibility. Now, trust is the cardinal point in every relationship. So leaders must be intentional in the way and manner they carry themselves, the way and manner they relate with people. At the Leadership Mind School, we believe, or part of our core values is we believe that effective leadership begins with self-leadership. You cannot lead the people without leading yourself effectively. Leadership begins with me and you. It begins with you and I. I, as a leader, must first satisfy the need, must first meet with the demand of leadership. Only then can you and I effectively lead others. The topic of today's teaching is emotional intelligence in leadership. Emotional intelligence in leadership. Leading yourself effectively and help leading others better. So before we manage organizations, before we must learn to manage ourselves. How do we manage ourselves? We manage ourselves by our reactions, how we react to situations, how we react to development, how we react to circumstances around us. Especially how we react in our attitudes. It is popularly said that your attitude will determine your altitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude. Do you want to go far in leadership, in your organization, be it your private business, the company you work, the nation you lead? First, you must be intentional of your attitude, because your attitude will either make you or will mar you. So your attitude will either make you or will mar you. So our responses to situations that have to do with our emotions. Look, listen, emotions, I've come to discover that the most powerful things in this world are the things that we cannot see, but we can feel them. The most powerful things, the things that makes or unmakes men leaders, are the intangible things you cannot hold, you cannot touch, you can't carry, but they are visible, but they are real. So As we'll begin this season, as we begin this session, as we go deep into this session today, I encourage you all to please approach this session with openness of heart. Don't assume that you already know, because one of the key attributes of great leaders is their appetite for learning, is their thirst for learning, to learn and to unlearn. The day any leader assumes the position of all knowledgeable, that is the beginning of the fall of such a leader. So today's discussion will help you to identify emotional patterns. This is almost like a psychological class today. Will help you to understand emotional patterns. It will strengthen your ability to be disciplined in difficult situations. And also, it will help to improve how you relate with the people that you lead, with the people that are within your network. Please, before we proceed in this session, because I will be sharing some slides that will help us to give us graphical uh, knowledge of deep understanding of this teaching today. I would like you to engage with us in the comment section. Please, I want to know where you are joining this live session from. I've seen a whole lot of my beautiful community members from the Facebook, TikTok, and across all our platforms. But today, we dedicated today to do almost also a test run to see how this can be done more effectively. So please, everyone on the call, just drop in the chat. Thank you, Olayinka from Ikorodu. Thank you. You know, this is also an avenue for networking. If you can go even a step forward to perhaps introduce yourself, what you do, you know, it's all part of it. So, what leadership situation challenges your emotions the most? As we talk, you know, emotions are very, see, nobody can make full boast of having full control of emotions until the situation arises. Until the situation, you just see somebody that has been so knowledgeable. So, as a matter of fact, just a few days ago, thank you, Ichie Patricia from Makodi. Wow, beautiful. Musa Faith from Kaduna. Thank you. Bukola from Facebook. Okay. Shego from Lagos. Thank you very much. So please, the rest of you, let's have the chat coming in. So I asked again, what leadership situation challenges your emotions the most? Is it criticism? You know, some people cannot stand criticism. They must always be right. That is an emotional challenge that needs to be dealt with. Because for you to be an effective leader, a good leader, you must master, you must feed on criticism. You must enjoy criticism. You must demand criticism, because it is criticism is the channel that takes leaders into greatness. True leaders feeds on criticism. They feed on criticism. Okay, is it conflict? When you are in a conflict situation, do you just burst out, or you are looking for just few minutes before joining this call? I was on a call with a good friend from Israel, and and she was making the video conference in the bunker, in the bunker. And while we were chatting about some, he said, well, life must move on. So she never allowed the conflict to limit her drive. She never allowed a conflict, the conflict happening in the Middle East, happening around her, to define her outlook. So, how do you, when you are having slow progress in whatever you are doing, do you just burst out? Are you able to manage your emotions? Or when you are dealing with difficult people, I think this most of us can relate with this. When dealing with difficult people, it can be very hectic, it can be very cumbersome dealing with with difficult people. So your participation enriches this conversation and allows this session to benefit a wider community of emerging leaders. So please tell me in the chat room. Okay, Deborah said criticism is a challenge. Thank you very much. I love that. Samuel said that looking down on someone, especially if the leader has a small body, wow. Those of us from the part of the world, because this is a global platform, it's a small body but big engine. So, it's not, leadership is not about the size, it's about the content. Okay, criticism, wisdom is saying criticism is a burden. Wow, that's true. That's true. Most leaders would rather die than to accept criticism. It's strange, but that's a painful reality, that most leaders would rather die. They are ready to take anything but criticism. So such leaders have already succeeded in limiting their capacity to lead. Oh, Musa Faith, thank you so much. Thank you. So I guess you and your husband are here together. So since you're using your husband's account, beautiful. Thank you. Oh, Shegoze, I can't fight it at all. Yes. So, but thank you. You have given us a good template to build this teaching on. Please note, at the end of this teaching, we shall be commencing and announcing a new appreciation segment where we have carefully selected 5 of our active followers that have been making very insightful comments on our posts across the platforms, especially on Facebook, where we started first. So we are launching a campaign from this very beginning now on insightful commentaries, because this is not just a regular class. It is, like we all know, this is an academic and an occasional template for us across the globe. So at the end of this session, we are going to make it very sharp and very brisk. Winners for this section. So without prejudice to anyone, and I must say, we have all been doing very, very well. In fact, I'm so much in love with this family now that I don't know, I just don't know what to say. But I thank you all for following up, for your commitment so far. Thank you. So it's going to be, I'm sure no one expected this move, but leaders also work on the element of surprise. The element of surprise is a critical element in strategic leadership. So Sometimes, while it's a bit difficult to select a few out of many, is because of the tendency to be prejudicial. So this is without prejudice to anyone. It is this 5 today. Next month, because it's going to be a monthly uh, award system. So thank you, and let's move. So again, I repeat, emotional intelligence in leadership. Please, can you confirm if you are seeing my slide? Can you see my slide? Just drop in the comment section. Just type yes, sir. Yes, yes. If you can see my slide, let me be sure you're following and you can see the slide. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So the objective of this teaching today is to help you and I, to help global leaders understand that leadership is not only about intelligence. No, intelligence is important. It's not only about strategy. Strategy is a masterpiece, but it is about emotional mastery. It's about emotional mastery, the ability to manage yourself and to relate wisely with others. I tell you the truth, personally, in fact, sometimes some things happens that are emotionally, they even tend to shake me as someone that has come this far in leadership and understand some of these things. So that is why we need to understand it, because the beginning of knowledge, one of the things, knowledge is like light. The moment light comes into a dark area, darkness goes away. So the moment you understand the light of this emotional intelligence, you just see that your reaction, your negative reaction to criticism, your negative reactions to conflicts, they will naturally begin to go on their own. Thank you, Jamie Peter. Thank you, everyone. In fact, I appreciate you all for joining this live session today. So, every one of you today, and those that will be watching this broadcast after now, would learn one, emotional intelligence in leadership. That is the role of emotional intelligence in leadership effectiveness. The purpose of leadership is responsibility. You cannot be responsible if you are not effective. Secondly, leaders on the call must understand emotional discipline. Oftentimes we talk about discipline, but the emotional aspect of discipline is crucial, it's critical. Oh, okay, Queen Ivy, you can't see it clearly. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm doing virtually more talking than what's on the slide. So I'm sure those watching on a TV screen would see better. And if you are streaming with a phone, with a laptop, you should see better. And perhaps phone, it will be small. Sorry about that. We'll improve subsequently. So how emotional discipline strengthens decision making. We'll be dissecting these parts, and at the end of this study session, you will be going home with practical tools. You will be leaving this session with practical tools for managing relationships, for managing pressure, and managing conflict. Listen to this. Thank you, Olab DC. Thank you very much. Please listen to this. Leadership will throw you into into unfamiliar terrain. Leadership will throw you into relationships that you never intended for. Leadership will throw you into a system of pressure. Oftentimes, those that have been in interview of maybe job hunting and all of that, most times the recruiters would ask you, yes, as a recruiter myself, oftentimes conducting interviews, we often ask participants, uh, can you work under pressure? And most people will write on their CV that ability to work under pressure. Sometimes when I go back to check in some of those firms we consult for and we see the workers struggle, I will tell them, but you wrote that time now that you have ability to work under pressure. See pressure now. You are kowtowing at pressure. So in essence, conflict, as long as human system exists, there must be it's a must. It's not will. There must be conflict. There will be conflict. So how today at the end of this session, you will have the tools on how to navigate your way to manage relationship. Listen to me. The relationships you manage today will define your placement tomorrow. The relationship you manage today will define your placement tomorrow. So, pressure, dealing with pressure, and managing conflict are part of the issues that you will be living here today. Keynotes: many leaders fail they fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack emotional discipline. Again, I said earlier, knowledge is good, knowledge is beautiful. You can never overemphasize the play of knowledge. But knowledge with emotional bankruptcy will lead to a leader to disaster. So leaders must place leadership places individuals under pressure. Leadership will bring you into criticism. As a matter of fact, now, this class I'm taking now, I'm positioning myself before you. Some watching and others that will watch later, I've given them avenue for criticism. Some will say, look at what he wore. Some will say, look at how he's talking. That is it. And for me, I feed on those criticisms. I want to hear it. I just don't want to hear the nice things, because that is the easiest avenue for you to grow. So leadership places individuals under undue pressure, criticism, increased expectations. Increased expectations. Some of you, before now, nobody even asks after you, nobody checks up on you, because you have not risen to a certain position in life. But the moment you are placed higher than where you are today, expectations increases. Suddenly, you begin to have commitment left, right, and center. And these expectations will give room to conflicts. It will give room to conflicts, ego management, and it will increase your responsibility. Remember, we had said that leadership is a call to responsibility. Now, without emotional intelligence, leaders may damage relationships. You see, there are some persons, they don't value relationship. They don't understand that. They don't understand the value of relationships. So they treat people that come into their lives anyhow. They are not intentional about people. They don't care. They just believe soldier go, soldier come, according to some balances in where we come from. So mismanage conflict. They also mismanage conflict. Let me tell you, friends, conflict is an opportunity for your new level in leadership, because I have often defined leadership as the ability to be a solution provider. Those who solve problems are the real leaders in the world. Those who solve problems are not those who create problems. So, leaders may weaken. If you don't have emotional intelligence as a leader, it will weaken your influence. It will weaken your influence. If you don't have emotional intelligence, your influence in society will be weakened. And nobody wants to follow a weak leader. Weak leaders are called weaklings. Nobody wants to. So let's now go into the core definition of emotional intelligence. At the Leadership Mind School, we have been able to rightly situate a definition for this key subject in leadership. That the ability, that emotional intelligence is the ability, that is the know-how to understand, the ability to understand, one. Secondly, the ability to manage, because you cannot manage what you don't understand. So the ability to understand, secondly, the ability to manage, thirdly, the ability to appropriately express your emotions while also recognizing and responding wisely to the emotions of others. Let me break down this definition further. A leader is not called to lead his or herself alone. You are called to lead people. But before leading people, you must, as a matter of fact, lead yourself. That is why leadership is a journey of self-actualization. It's a journey of self-actualization to people orientation. Because when you know yourself, you can be able to give right orientation to others. Today, in leadership, there is a huge case of mistaken identity in leadership. That is why I put forth these quotes. I said, leaders who cannot manage their emotions will eventually mismanage their influence. Please listen to this very well. Leaders who cannot manage their emotions will eventually mismanage their influence. Let's look at the historical insight into this subject, because the subject of emotional intelligence, though, is gaining more attention now, but it's been there because people have not, past leaders have not been able to acknowledge it. They have not been able to research it. They have not been able to apply it, because you can only apply what you know. So the concept of emotional intelligence gained global prominence through the work of Daniel Goleman, who demonstrated that emotional competence often matters more than technical skill in leadership performance. Technical skill, you can see it. Emotional intelligence, you cannot see it, but you can feel it. If an emotionally stabilized person walks into a room, you will know. For instance, look at the man, the man in on the slide there. You can see what comes to your mind. Please just drop in the comment section. What comes to your mind? You walk into an office and you meet your leader in this posture. Please tell me what comes to your mind. What's the emotional definition of this picture? Let me see the brightest students in the house. You know, this class, somebody said, why are you doing this free? Why are you doing it? I said, look, I often believe that whatever you believe in that you cannot give without monetization, it's questionable. So I need response from our viewers. Yes. So from the picture of this leader, just assume you walk into the office of your leader, or this is you. What does this picture tell you? What's this picture saying to you? Yes. Tawakat, Ayolabisi, Oladimeji, Chioma Chigozie, Mr. Andrew. Yes, who can build the house? This is question time. Oh. What's this picture telling you? What's this picture showing to you? What can you tell me? You walked into an office and you meet a leader. Emotionally intelligent leaders become stronger. Yes, yes, yes. I'm asking a direct. Thank you, Tawakat. What this picture here, what does it tell you when you walk into an office? Okay, while we await responses from you all, thank you for your comments. Keep the comments coming in. Think is thinking how to manage the company. Okay, good. All right. So now, question one for today is, what leadership situation challenges your emotions the most? What leadership situation challenges your emotions the most? Number one, is it criticism? I think a lot of us had pointed out criticism earlier. Is it disrespect? Some leaders cannot stand disrespect. You can do anything to them, but don't disrespect them. Is it slow progress? How do you react when you are not getting the desired progress? Is it conflict? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. So, what leadership situations challenges your emotions the most? Again, some of us cannot withstand criticism. Don't just tell us we are wrong, always tell us we are right. Aha. Of course, especially in Africa, where a good number of us on the call came from, most of our leaders, you just must be singing their praise. The moment you say something other than what they want to hear, you are in the black book, or you are in for it. But I mean, that's a sign of poor leadership. Some, of course, it's good to respect leaders, but I mean, when you are leading people, you must take cognizance of the fact that people came from different backgrounds. So disrespect in the sense should not break down your emotions. Slow progress in a sense should not break down your emotion. And conflict, like I said earlier, should strengthen you rather than weaken you. All right, let's proceed. So self-awareness, this is the foundation of emotional intelligence. Please, I beg you to listen and take proper note for this segment. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to know you, to understand you, to recognize your emotional triggers, to recognize your strengths, your weaknesses, and behavioral tendencies. In leadership management, there is what we call the SWOT analysis. I'm going very far, very deep. These are courses that are taken even at MBA levels. SWOT analysis. Effective leadership begins with understanding your own emotional patterns. You know what it means, patterns. Then emotional patterns. Just now, just even with your eyes closed now, just think about the patterns your life had taken, or your leadership journey has been, the path it has been over the years. There is a pattern. Believe it or not, accept it or not, there is a pattern. So it is only those who discover, who understand their patterns, that can break the negative patterns. That is why when you go to the hospital for any medical challenge, first a proper hospital will first run a diagnosis to understand what the cause, what the trigger of this challenge. So I said we are going to be dissecting this segment with the SWOT analysis. In fact, we paid a lot of money to learn some of these things, but I'm happy that, and I believe that somebody will enjoy it and will apply it. The SWOT analysis talks about identifying your internal strengths. The S in the SWOT stands for strength. It talks about your internal weaknesses. The W in the SWOT stands for weaknesses. And it also talks about external opportunities. The O in that stands for opportunities. And fourthly, the T stands for threats. Now, SWOT, strengths and weaknesses, are part of you internal. They are internally your own. Right now, you should know your strengths, the area what you are good at, the area you know very well that it will be difficult for somebody else to beat you. You can stand your anytime, any day. That's your strength. Your weaknesses, the area you know that this one you need the grace of God. It's only grace that can help you. Then you can improve on them. So you strengthen your emotional. The foundation of emotional intelligence is for you to strengthen your strengths, then build upon your areas of weaknesses. Listen to this. This is what most leaders do. They just assume these things does not exist. But whether you like it or not, as much as your strength will take you high, your weaknesses can bring you low, can bring you down. So you must understand, identify. It's good to be strong, but in that strength, there's a possibility of weakness. Deal with it. Then the other two parts, they are external challenges, opportunities. Where you see opportunities, most times there are challenges. There are threats to your leadership, threats to your business, threats to what you are doing. So why this matters is that leaders who lack self-awareness often do the following things. Please listen to this. Leaders who lack self-awareness, number one, they react impulsively. They just react to things. They are easily triggered by things. They don't take time to think, to rationalize things before dealing with it. They just react. They throw themselves into the situation. Also, leaders who lack self-awareness often misinterpret situations. One of the things that I've discovered and found very interesting is that situations are not always how they appear to be. Huh? Situations, oftentimes, they are not always as they appear to be. Sometimes when certain things happen to us, you know, that is why effective leaders take time to assess the situation before responding so they don't react impulsively. Most times, when you react impulsively to situations, go back and check it. Oftentimes, you always get into problems, into challenges. You always regret it back down the line. So, also, leaders who lack self awareness often damage relationships. They damage relationships. And no leader, every great leader, have been a great manager of relationships. Show me a great leader, and I will show you a great manager of relationships. That never meant that there were no challenges in the relationship. That never meant that there were no down times in the relationship. But the self-awareness of the leader prevailed. Listen to this. If you don't know yourself, if you are not fully aware of yourself, it will be very difficult for you to not to react impulsively to situations. It will be very difficult for you not to misinterpret situations. It will be very difficult for you to manage relationships. Because why? You already have a challenge with yourself. Now, what are the signs of high self-awareness? You know what frustrates you. That is where you have a very solid self-awareness. You will know the things that frustrate you. You will understand your leadership strengths. It's very important. Your leadership strength, you must understand it. Before now, until recently, when it comes to technology, I don't go there, I will just hide myself. But by the time I discovered the way the world is changing, I knew deep down inside me that this is a weakness. But listen, no one ordinarily, thank you, Chioma, thank you. No one ordinarily would want to acknowledge his or her weaknesses. No, very few people, they are exceptional people. And the worst thing that can happen to a leader is to live in self-denial. So I have been building on that weakness. When you talk of excel, I will just dodge. But today it's not so. When you bring these simple soft skills, I was so focused on my strengths, but I've been building on this. So also signs of high self-awareness is you recognize emotional triggers. You know what triggers your emotions. Because once you recognize it and you know it's a pattern, you know how to mitigate it. Also, you evaluate your behavior honestly. I tell you the truth. No matter what you know, people will relate with you on the strength of your behavior. No matter what you know, no matter how beautiful you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how gorgeous you are, People will relate with you on the strength of your behavior. So evaluate those signs of high self-awareness is they evaluate their behaviors honestly. Now I want you to reflect on this. What situations trigger your frustration? What situations triggers your frustration? Also, how do you respond when criticized? You know, sometimes when they are criticizing you, it's as if they are pinching you, they are tearing you up, and you know very well that what you are being told is the truth, but you can't stand it. Just a simple thank you and a noted will solve it, but the human nature. So, what emotional pattern do you need to improve? What emotional pattern? Take note of this leadership insights. Self-awareness transforms reaction into reflection. When next you are tempted, when next you are prepared to react, relax. When next you are prompted to react, relax and reflect. Oftentimes, what we react about, when we reflect on them, we will be, did I really do that? Was I the one? Did I really do? Was I the one that did that? We regret oftentimes. So, in the second segment of this teaching, we're talking about emotional discipline. This is another core aspect. Responding instead of reacting. Many leadership problems occur. Many leadership problems. Okay, I have come across before. You're absolutely correct. Oh, thank you, Chioma. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I react due to my nature. I come not to be emulated. Okay, Shego Olayinka, please, you need to rephrase that point. I think I like what you were trying to communicate, but rephrase it. I would love to read that again. Okay, so many leadership problems occur because people react emotionally instead of responding thoughtfully. Thoughtfully. People react emotionally. Listen, most of the challenges we have in leadership today is as a result of emotional reaction. When you respond thoughtfully, because you will think about it front and back, left and center, and you will respond accurately. Reactions, these are the key attributes of reaction. Reactions are always immediate. That's why wise people don't make haste to take decision. Wise, effective leaders are not always in a haste to take decision. So reaction is characterized with urgency, immediacy, while response is characterized with thoughtfulness. So next time you are confronted with a situation, you are either reacting or you are responding. The two R's that makes for an effective leader and an ineffective leader. Two R's. R square, I call them. So in reaction, you are driven by emotion. In reacting, you are, this person talked to me like this. Me care. Do you know who I am? Emotion, emotion that is speaking, not you. But a response is measured, is programmed. Reaction is often regretted later. Reaction is often regretted later. You go to the prison today, you see most leaders after leaving government office, after leaving offices, 95% of them often regret later. They live in regrets. Whereas those who are responding, they are strategic. Strategic means considering all variables and taking the right way out of it. Thank you, Shegun, for the compliment. So, leadership principle: the greater your responsibility, the greater the emotional discipline you must become. As you grow in leadership, so also you must grow in emotional discipline. Listen again. The greater your responsibility, the greater the emotional discipline that you must become. For example, let's consider the leadership composure demonstrated by the great Nelson Mandela, whose emotional restraint and forgiveness helped stabilize a divided nation. It helped stabilize a divided nation. I'm sure we all know the story, the apartheid regime of South Africa. How a man, despite all he went through, yet he gave it all up for the unity of the country. He gave it all up for the unity of the country. One of the famous storylines of Nelson Mandela was when he went out to the bar. I'm sure some of us will be familiar with this story. If you are, you can drop a compliment in the comment section. He went out to the bar, and on getting into the bar, he met one of the prison warders that really tormented and troubled him while he was in the prison. Immediately the man saw him entering. The man was hurriedly trying to rush out because he was afraid of his life, for his life. And Nelson Mandela said, "No, that's in the past now. This man, his emotional restraint and forgiveness helped stabilize a deeply divided nation." South Africa was hugely divided, highly divided, but one man, an effective and emotionally stabilized leader, gave her the joy that they enjoy today. So what are the techniques for emotional discipline? I hope this teaching is impactful, is making sense, and is good value for your time. I hope so. But even while I'm speaking, I'm also, in fact, fresh ideas, light keep coming in. So key techniques for emotional discipline: one, you must learn to pause before responding. When next you are confronted with a challenge in your leadership, in your organization, before taking a position, pause before responding. Also, learn to separate facts from emotion. Please learn to separate facts from emotion. Oftentimes, when people bring issues to me, what are the facts of the matter? Because emotions can becloud you. The facts are always what they are. So always focus on solutions instead of blame. Blame game is not helpful in leadership. Also, control your tone and language. You see, words are powerful. Once they are released, you can't take them back. Especially in the media, in the age we are today. I'm sure we saw the interview in Al Jazeera, I think about a week or two ago, when a leader was confronted with his own very words. And I mean, it was a global embarrassment. I mean, if you saw that interview on Al Jazeera by Hassan, it was a very huge embarrassment because his tone, his language was used against him. So I encourage you all again, pause before reacting to the next situation that you find yourself. The third segment of this, as we drive home towards the concluding segment, which is the next one, empathy. Empathy. Can someone just drop in the comment section what you understand by empathy? What's your understanding on empathy? What do you know is empathy? This is leadership. That is, first of all, is the act of understanding people. You cannot be a leader if you are not a lover of people. You cannot lead effectively if you are not interested in understanding the people you are sent or you are responsible to lead. You can't. So leadership involves, in fact, I have developed a culture over time. Those under my leadership that are within my space, I must know you to your home. I must know you. I must know your spouse. Because you cannot be under my leadership or within my leadership sphere, and I don't know you. That's why today certain things happen and people are amazed. But I've been with this person over time, but because leadership failed. So leadership involves working with individuals, who have different personalities. Leadership involves working with individuals who have different personalities. For example, now, every one of us on this call, we have different personalities. Am I correct? We have different personalities here. So a leader must understand the dynamic nature of the people under his leadership to be able to manage them effectively. I believe this is part of the challenges we have in our home country. I think majority of us are Nigerians. One of the major challenges we have is the inability of successive leadership to manage our different personalities. Please take note of that. So, in the different motivations, leadership involves working with individuals who have different personalities. Number one, they have different motivations. For instance, everyone on this call today, everyone, with all due respect, something motivated you to be on this, to join this session today. Either you saw the topic, you just want to be part of it. Either someone insisted you must be here, or you saw an invitation. Whatever, there was a motivation for you to decide, to determine to be here today. So everyone under your leadership has different challenges. So empathy allows leaders to understand people without losing authority. There are people that need a certain level of care. There are people that need a certain level of understanding. So empathy is the ability to recognize and understand the emotional state of others. Life is, yes, it's emotional. So everyone is driven one way or the other by emotion. But that emotion must not supersede empathy matters. Listen to this, please. People support leaders who make them feel valued. Some persons are on this call today. As a matter of fact, I love giving practical examples. One of a group of mine, I think some persons pulled out of the group, just recently, and I only just discovered this morning. I took up my phone and I reached out. I said, no, please, if you wouldn't mind, get back. Value. Nobody you value that will not return value back to you. Leaders, please listen. Nobody you value that will not return value back to you. So people support leaders who make them feel valued. One, they support leaders who make them feel respected. Everyone loves, likes, respects. And they say respect is reciprocal. If you respect me, I respect you. I think a few years ago, there's a popular saying, a slogan that came out, say value will value you. Am I correct? Please, if you are on the call, let me see you type value will value you. Let me be sure you are hearing me. Someone said it was very popular, say value will value, and it resonated perfectly well with me. As a matter of fact, at this stage of my life, you must understand that these things are applicable in stages. If you don't value me, I can't give you value. I can't give you value. So, as you know, sometimes I understand very well marketing and all of that. I can put a price on these courses. Even if 2, 3 persons comes, fine, you just do. But some persons attend the course, they won't come, but tomorrow they will come running to you for challenges. And they knew me now, pay little attention to such persons because value who value you. So people support leaders who make them feel understood. Leaders must learn to respect people, to understand, listen. Attentive listening is key to leadership. So leadership must listen attentively. It's not just you talking. You must listen to what the followers are saying. Leaders must avoid dismissing concerns. Your followers, your team members are expressing genuine concern, and you dismiss them, you wave them off because you are the all-knowing person in the room. Please, I love to hear the concerns of people because sometimes you just discovered a different perspective to the issue. So seek to understand, I beg you, dear leaders, before responding. When next you are in a situation, seek clarity, seek to understand before responding. The leadership insight for this segment is, please take note of this. People may forget your instructions, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. People may forget your instructions, but they rarely forget how you make them feel, because everybody want to feel all right. As a matter of fact, everyone has a right to feel all right. I hope we are following. Question number 2. I want us to respond to Moyoshore. Thank you very much. Thank you. I see Chief Patricia, you are doing well. Thank you. What leadership behavior makes you feel respected? I want to see your comment on this so that I will take notes, because I don't want to disrespect anybody. So what leadership makes you feel respected? Let's go to the comment section. We're in the last segment now. What leadership makes you is respected? Drop your comments. What makes you feel disrespected as a leader? Okay, remember the final segment, we are going to be identifying 5 followers that in fact, took note of their comments over a period of time, and based on their insightful commentaries, we have decided to create a reward system for monthly reward system for those insightful comments. You see, when you comment to our daily publications, it helps us it gives us value for the work we are doing, and uh, it shows that there is a flow and there is a connection. So I'm seeing a few of those persons on the call, but I think I've not seen one or two persons here. So that will be the suspense till the last segment. Okay, good. Let's go. Managing conflicts and managing relationships and conflicts. Leadership inevitably involves disagreements. Thank you, Eche Patricia. Thank you. Leadership inevitably involves disagreement and tensions. You cannot lead and be in agreement with everybody at all times. No. Leadership, I'm saying it again, either you are leading at a local community level, a school, your organization, your nation, whatever, wherever you are leading, it inevitably must involve disagreements and tensions. So, emotionally intelligent leaders handle conflict with maturity and clarity. Thank you, Dupe Ahmed. Thank you. Thank you. Dupe, I'm not sure what's your name that I'm familiar with. You can drop it or chat me up, the usual platform we communicate, because your engagement is has been very rich tonight. Thank you. So leadership inevitably involves disagreements and tensions. Emotionally intelligent leaders handle conflict with maturity and clarity. So maturity is necessary to effective leadership and to emotional intelligence. For you to operate in emotional intelligence, you must understand the rule of clarity in conflicts. What are the common leadership conflict triggers? What triggers conflicts? I think this will help a good number of us today. Number one thing that triggers conflicts. As I'm teaching this, try to remember the last conflict situation you had with friends, organizations, wherever. Number one, and the key is miscommunication. It's miscommunication. Either something was not said, something was said inappropriately, something was not said on time, something was said in a wrong place to a wrong person. You know, there are different dynamics of miscommunication. So, miscommunication triggers conflict in leadership. Secondly, differing expectations. That is why I tell people in leadership, I said it's better, always better to promise little and perform high than to promise high and underperform. So, underpromise and overperform. Because when you defer expectations of followers, it will trigger conflict in them because they've planned based on the expectations. All right, another key conflict trigger in leadership is personality differences. Leadership always brings clashes of personalities. So we must understand how to manage personality, understand that we are diverse, we live in a diverse world, and we are diverse people. People will not reason the way you reason, people must not think the way you think, but they are people all the same, and you must manage them under your leadership. Fourthly is stress and pressure. When people are stressed, it easily triggers conflict within the leadership space. And when people work under undue and excessive pressure, they will certainly cave in into it. So, what are the leadership principles that effective leaders must develop? Number one, you must know that unmanaged conflict weakens teams. What is the conflict that is brewing saliently in your organization? Manage it, resolve it. Constructively managed conflict strengthens teams. Like I have often said, leaders are solution providers. The problems you solve are the ones that determine your placement in leadership. The problems you solve are the ones that determines your placement in leadership. Now, listen to this healthy conflict approach, how to manage conflict. We are not saying avoid conflict because conflict must come. In fact, we should expect them. Number one is to address issues early. We must learn to address issues early as the conflict issues are arising. Address it, deal with it, cut it off before it grows and grow horns. Number two, focus on behavior and not personal attacks. Personal attacks will increase ego, but when you focus on behaviors, on patterns, it deflates egos. But attacking persons and their personality and families will increase the ego and will intensify the conflict. Thirdly, you must listen carefully if you want to have a healthy conflict approach. You must listen carefully. Listen to respond, not listen to react. Fourthly, you must seek resolution, not conflicts, not victory, rather. When there is a conflict, it's not winner takes all. No. As a matter of fact, you should be ready, you should be willing to cede ground for a peaceful resolution because conflict, if not well managed, will bring more harm to you. A leader's emotional maturity often determines the emotional climate of the entire team. Your leader determines your ceiling in most cases. That's why you must be conscious of the kind of leader you are, the type of leader you are becoming, and the type of leader that is ahead of you. Because a leader's emotional maturity will oftentimes determine the emotional climate of the entire team. That is why we place huge emphasis on leadership in this place. So I want us to deal with a few questions. This one is compulsory question, or the one I've been asking since some persons did not respond. So as we wind down the clock, we have about a few minutes to go. How can leaders stay calm under criticism? Yes, how can leaders stay calm under criticism? Wisdom, I saw you typing. Eche Patricia Tavakat, I can see you. Who again is on the call? Chioma, I think I can see you. Okay. How can leaders stay calm under criticism? I'm very excited today because I know somebody somewhere has overcome this issue of criticism. And very close to me, you would agree with me that I feed on them. I want to get feedback. As a matter of fact, if I'm not getting feedback from any organization or any team, I'm trouble and worried. I mean, they are all group of pretenders. And nothing nothing good comes out of pretenders. One day everything will just burst. Yes, how can leaders? Tawakat has written that leadership composure is ability to maintain emotional stability. Beautiful, thank you. So how can leaders stay calm under criticism? My second question for the session for this segment is how do you deal with disrespectful team members? How do we deal with disrespectful team members? And lastly is, can emotional intelligence be developed? Yes. Can emotional intelligence be developed? We have about 5 minutes to the closing time, so we are closing quickly. But your responses will help the class better. So emotional intelligence grows through reflection. Please don't forget, you must reflect on happenings. You must develop ability and capacity to absorb feedback, feed on feedbacks, so that you can move forward. And you must practice it. So leaders, how can leaders stay calm under criticism? You stay calm through reflection. You reflect. I've given you the response now. So you reflect on the criticism. This thing they are criticizing me about, how is it so? Also, how do I deal with disrespectful team members? By feedback. You get feedback, you absorb feedback. And can emotional intelligence be developed? Yes, by practice. As it is commonly said, that practice, they say, it makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. So, in conclusion, leadership is influenced. Not only leadership influence is not only measured, it's not only measured by strategy, it's not only measured by intelligence, it is not only measured by performance, it is also measured by composure, by your empathy and emotional discipline. Emotional discipline is key to effective leadership. Great leaders do not, my closing remark on this, great leaders do not manage organizations. No, they manage emotions, both theirs and those of the people they lead. Because under your leadership are diverse emotions put together. So as you manage emotions, you manage your organization. I want to appreciate every one of you so much for taking out this about 90 minutes of your time. I'm sure it's been a very exciting time. Esther, Edith, thank you very much. Next week, we shall be treating yet another interesting topic we are building up, titled Communication That Moves People. That is speaking so people understand. Speaking so that people can trust you and people can act on it. So in final conclusion for this segment, this is the list of our winners for the period under review. We have Patience Nana Felix, Chigozie Chioma Cynthia, Musa Faith, Tawakat Adeyemo, and Doreen Manson Jellico. So these four of our highly impactful followers have been their commentaries to our daily teachings and postings have been highly impactful, and the school has prepared an award for these five. So thank you very much for this beautiful, awesome session. This session is recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. Please kindly subscribe to, if you are yet to subscribe, subscribe to the channel, put on the notification button, and join us next week, same time and on the same channel. You can do well to share the broadcast, the recorded one, you can share them through your various platforms. We thank you so much. We love you and God bless you so much, so much. So, those of you, your names are not here, don't get offended, but I think it was a tough one, especially one of my favorite. In fact, everyone is my favorite, but it was a tough one. But we appreciate you all. We thank you and God bless you. In fact, it's like we should continue, but let me allow you all to go and prepare for and you are continue the rest of to take proper rest for the weekend. And I look forward to seeing you all same time next week. All right. Thank you. God bless you. Good night.